Deuteronomy Chapter 1. These be the words which Moses spoke to all Israel on this side Jordan in the wilderness, in the plain over against the Red Sea, between Paran and Tophel and Laban and Hazeroth and Dizahab. There are 11 days' journey from Horeb by the way of Mount Seir to Kadesh Barnea. And it came to pass in the 40th year, in the 11th month, on the first day of the month, that Moses spoke to the children of Israel according to all that the Lord had given him in commandment to them. After he had slain Sihon the king of the Amorites, which dwelled in Heshbon, and Og the king of Bashan, which dwelled at Ashtaroth in Edrei. On this side Jordan, in the land of Moab, began Moses to declare this law, saying, The Lord our God spoke to us in Horeb, saying, You have dwelled long enough in this mount. Turn you, and take your journey, and go to the mount of the Amorites, and to all the places near thereunto, in the plain, in the hills, and in the vale, and in the south, and by the seaside, to the land of the Canaanites, and to Lebanon, to the great river, the river Euphrates. Behold, I have set the land before you. Go in and possess the land which the Lord swore to your fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, to give to them and to their seed after them. And I spoke to you at that time, saying, I am not able to bear you myself alone. The Lord your God has multiplied you, and behold, you are this day as the stars of heaven for multitude. The Lord God of your fathers make you 1,000 times so many more as you are, and bless you as he has promised you. How can I myself alone bear your cumbrance, and your burden, and your strife? Take you wise men, and understanding, and known among your tribes, and I will make them rulers over you. And you answered me and said, The thing which you have spoken is good for us to do. So I took the chief of your tribes, wise men and known, and made them heads over you, captains over thousands, and captains over hundreds, and captains over 50s, and captains over 10s, and officers among your tribes. And I charged your judges at that time, saying, Hear the causes between your brothers, and judge righteously between every man and his brother, and the stranger that is with him. You shall not respect persons in judgment, but you shall hear the small as well as the great. You shall not be afraid of the face of man, for the judgment is God's. And the cause that is too hard for you, bring it to me, and I will hear it. And I commanded you at that time all the things which you should do. And when we departed from Horeb, we went through all that great and terrible wilderness, which you saw by the way of the mountain of the Amorites, as the Lord our God commanded us, and we came to Kadesh Barnea. And I said to you, You are come to the mountain of the Amorites, which the Lord our God does give to us. Behold, the Lord your God has set the land before you. Go up and possess it, as the Lord God of your fathers has said to you. Fear not, neither be discouraged. And you came near to me, every one of you, and said, We will send men before us, and they shall search us out the land, and bring us word again by what way we must go up, and into what cities we shall come. And the saying pleased me well. And I took 12 men of you, one of a tribe. And they turned and went up into the mountain, and came to the valley of Eshcol, and searched it out. And they took of the fruit of the land in their hands, and brought it down to us, and brought us word again, and said, It is a good land which the Lord our God does give us. Notwithstanding, you would not go up, but rebelled against the commandment of the Lord your God. And you murmured in your tents, and said, Because the Lord hated us, he has brought us forth out of the land of Egypt, to deliver us into the hand of the Amorites, to destroy us. Where shall we go up? Our brothers have discouraged our hearts, saying, This people is greater and taller than we. The cities are great and walled up to heaven. And moreover, we have seen the sons of the Anakims there. Then I said to you, Dread not, neither be afraid of them. The Lord your God, which goes before you, he shall fight for you, according to all that he did for you in Egypt before your eyes. And in the wilderness, where you have seen how that the Lord your God bore you, as a man does bear his son, in all the way that you went until you came into this place. Yet in this thing you did not believe the Lord your God, who went in the way before you to search you out a place to pitch your tents in fire by night, to show you by what way you should go, and in a cloud by day. And the Lord heard the voice of your words, and was wroth, and swore, saying, Surely there shall not one of these men of this evil generation see that good land which I swore to give to your fathers, save Caleb the son of Jephunneh. He shall see it, and to him will I give the land that he has trodden on, and to his children, because he has wholly followed the Lord. Also the Lord was angry with me for your sakes, saying, You also shall not go in thither. But Joshua, the son of Nun, which stands before you, he shall go in thither. Encourage him, for he shall cause Israel to inherit it. Moreover, your little ones, which you said should be a prey, and your children, which in that day had no knowledge between good and evil, they shall go in thither, and to them will I give it, and they shall possess it. But as for you, turn you, and take your journey into the wilderness by the way of the Red Sea. Then you answered me and said, We have sinned against the Lord. We will go up and fight, according to all that the Lord our God commanded us. And when you had girded on every man his weapons of war, you were ready to go up into the hill. And the Lord said to me, Say to them, Go not up, neither fight, for I am not among you, lest you be smitten before your enemies. So I spoke to you, and you would not hear, but rebelled against the commandment of the Lord, and went presumptuously up into the hill. And the Amorites which dwelled in that mountain came out against you, and chased you as bees do, and destroyed you in Seir, even to Hormah. And you returned and wept before the Lord. But the Lord would not listen to your voice, nor give ear to you. So you stayed in Kadesh many days, according to the days that you stayed there. Deuteronomy Chapter 2. Then we turned and took our journey into the wilderness by the way of the Red Sea, as the Lord spoke to me, and we compassed Mount Seir many days. And the Lord spoke to me, saying, You have compassed this mountain long enough. Turn you northward, and command you the people, saying, You are to pass through the coast of your brothers, the children of Esau, which dwell in Seir, and they shall be afraid of you. Take you good heed to yourselves, therefore. Meddle not with them, for I will not give you of their land, no, not so much as a footbreadth, because I have given Mount Seir to Esau for a possession. You shall buy meat of them for money, that you may eat, and you shall also buy water of them for money, that you may drink. For the Lord your God has blessed you in all the works of your hand. He knows you're walking through this great wilderness. These 40 years the Lord your God has been with you. You have lacked nothing. And when we passed by from our brothers, the children of Esau, which dwelled in Seir, through the way of the plain from the Eloth, and from Ezion-Geber, we turned and passed by the way of the wilderness of Moab. And the Lord said to me, Distress not the Moabites, neither contend with them in battle, for I will not give you of their land for a possession, because I have given Ar to the children of Lot for a possession. The Emims dwelled therein in times past, a people great and many, and tall as the Anakims, which also were accounted giants, as the Anakims, but the Moabites called them Emims. The Horims also dwelled in Seir before time, but the children of Esau succeeded them when they had destroyed them from before them, and dwelled in their stead, as Israel did to the land of his possession, which the Lord gave to them. Now rise up, said I, and get you over the brook Zered. And we went over the brook Zered. And the space in which we came from Kadesh Barnea until we were come over the brook Zered was 38 years, until all the generation of the men of war were wasted out from among the host, as the Lord swore to them. For indeed the hand of the Lord was against them, to destroy them from among the host until they were consumed. So it came to pass, when all the men of war were consumed and dead from among the people, that the Lord spoke to me, saying, You are to pass over through Har, the coast of Moab, this day. And when you come near over against the children of Ammon, distress them not, nor meddle with them, for I will not give you of the land of the children of Ammon any possession, because I have given it to the children of Lot for a possession. That also was accounted a land of giants. Giants dwelled therein in old time, and the Ammonites called them Zemzumims, a people great and many and tall as the Anakims. But the Lord destroyed them before them, and they succeeded them and dwelled in their stead. As he did to the children of Esau, which dwelled in Seir, when he destroyed the Horims from before them, and they succeeded them and dwelled in their stead, even to this day. And the Avims, which dwelled in Hazarim, even to Azah, the Caphtorims, which came forth out of Caphtor, destroyed them, and dwelled in their stead. Rise you up, take your journey, and pass over the river Arnon. Behold, I have given into your hand Sihon the Amorite, king of Heshbon, and his land. Begin to possess it, and contend with him in battle. This day will I begin to put the dread of you and the fear of you on the nations that are under the whole heaven, who shall hear report of you, and shall tremble and be in anguish because of you. And I sent messengers out of the wilderness of Kedemoth to Sihon, king of Heshbon, with words of peace, saying, Let me pass through your land. I will go along by the highway. I will neither turn to the right hand nor to the left. You shall sell me meat for money, that I may eat, and give me water for money, that I may drink, only I will pass through on my feet. As the children of Esau which dwell in Seir, and the Moabites which dwell in Ar did to me, until I shall pass over Jordan into the land which the Lord our God gives us. But Sihon, king of Heshbon, would not let us pass by him. For the Lord your God hardened his spirit, and made his heart obstinate, that he might deliver him into your hands, as appears this day. And the Lord said to me, Behold, I have begun to give Sihon and his land before you. Begin to possess, that you may inherit his land. Then Sihon came out against us, he and all his people, to fight at Yahaz. And the Lord our God delivered him before us, and we smote him and his sons and all his people. And we took all his cities at that time, and utterly destroyed the men and the women and the little ones of every city. We left none to remain. Only the cattle we took for a prey to ourselves, and the spoil of the cities which we took. From Aroer, which is by the brink of the river of Arnon, and from the city that is by the river, even to Gilead, there was not one city too strong for us. The Lord our God delivered all to us. Only to the land of the children of Ammon you came not, nor to any place of the river Jabbok, nor to the cities in the mountains, nor to whatever the Lord our God forbade us. Deuteronomy Chapter 3. Then we turned and went up the way to Bashan, and Og, the king of Bashan, came out against us, he and all his people, to battle at Edrei. And the Lord said to me, Fear him not, for I will deliver him, and all his people and his land into your hand, and you shall do to him as you did to Sihon, king of the Amorites, which dwelled at Heshbon. So the Lord our God delivered into our hands Og also, the king of Bashan, and all his people, and we smote him until none was left to him remaining. And we took all his cities at that time. There was not a city which we took not from them, 80 cities, all the region of Argob, the kingdom of Og in Bashan. All these cities were fenced with high walls, gates, and bars, beside unwalled towns a great many. And we utterly destroyed them, as we did to Sihon king of Heshbon, utterly destroying the men, women, and children of every city. But all the cattle and the spoil of the cities we took for a prey to ourselves. And we took at that time out of the hand of the 2 kings of the Amorites, the land that was on this side Jordan, from the river of Arnon to Mount Hermon, which Hermon the Sidonians call Syrian, and the Amorites call it Shinir. All the cities of the plain, and all Gilead, and all Bashan, to Salcah and Edrei, cities of the kingdom of Og in Bashan. For only Og, king of Bashan, remained of the remnant of giants. Behold, his bedstead was a bedstead of iron. Is it not in Rabbot of the children of Ammon? 9 cubits was the length thereof, and 4 cubits the breadth of it, after the cubit of a man. And this land which we possessed at that time from Aroer, which is by the river Arnon, and half Mount Gilead, and the cities thereof, gave I to the Reubenites and to the Gadites. And the rest of Gilead, and all Bashan, being the kingdom of Og, gave I to the half-tribe of Manasseh, all the region of Argob, with all Bashan, which was called the land of giants. Yair, the son of Manasseh, took all the country of Argob to the coast of Geshuri and Ma'akathi, and called them after his name, Bashan Havoth Yair, to this day. And I gave Gilead to Machir. And to the Reubenites and to the Gadites I gave from Gilead, even to the river Arnon, half the valley, and the border, even to the river Jabbok, which is the border of the children of Ammon, the plain also, and Jordan, and the coast thereof, from Kinnereth, even to the sea of the plain, even the salt sea, under Ashdoth Pisgah, eastward. And I commanded you at that time, saying, The Lord your God has given you this land to possess it. You shall pass over armed before your brothers, the children of Israel, all that are meet for the war. But your wives and your little ones and your cattle, for I know that you have much cattle, shall abide in your cities which I have given you, until the Lord have given rest to your brothers as well to you, and until they also possess the land which the Lord your God has given them beyond the Jordan. And then shall you return every man to his possession which I have given you. And I commanded Joshua at that time, saying, Your eyes have seen all that the Lord your God has done to these 2 kings. So shall the Lord do to all the kingdoms where you pass. You shall not fear them, for the Lord your God, he shall fight for you. And I sought the Lord at that time, saying, O Lord God, you have begun to show your servant your greatness and your mighty hand. For what God is there in heaven or in earth that can do according to your works and according to your might? I pray you, let me go over and see the good land that is beyond Jordan, that goodly mountain, and Lebanon. But the Lord was wroth with me for your sakes, and would not hear me. And the Lord said to me, Let it suffice you. Speak no more to me of this matter. Get you up into the top of Pisgah, and lift up your eyes westward, and northward, and southward, and eastward, and behold it with your eyes. For you shall not go over this Jordan. But charge Joshua, and encourage him, and strengthen him, for he shall go over before this people, and he shall cause them to inherit the land which you shall see. So we stayed in the valley over against Beth Peor. Deuteronomy Chapter 4. Now therefore listen, O Israel, to the statutes and to the judgments which I teach you for to do them, that you may live and go in and possess the land which the Lord God of your fathers gives you. You shall not add to the word which I command you, neither shall you diminish aught from it, that you may keep the commandments of the Lord your God which I command you. Your eyes have seen what the Lord did because of Baal Peor. From all the men that followed Baal Peor, the Lord your God has destroyed them from among you. But you that did join to the Lord your God are alive, every one of you this day. Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Lord my God commanded me, that you should do so in the land where you go to possess it. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations, which shall hear all these statutes and say, Surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. For what nation is there so great, who has God so near to them, as the Lord our God is in all things that we call on him for? And what nation is there so great that has statutes and judgments so righteous as all this law, which I set before you this day? Only take heed to yourself, and keep your soul diligently, lest you forget the things which your eyes have seen, and lest they depart from your heart all the days of your life. But teach them your sons and your sons' sons, especially the day that you stood before the Lord your God in Horeb, when the Lord said to me, Gather me the people together, and I will make them hear my words, that they may learn to fear me all the days that they shall live on the earth, and that they may teach their children. And you came near and stood under the mountain, and the mountain burned with fire to the middle of heaven with darkness, clouds, and thick darkness. And the Lord spoke to you out of the middle of the fire. You heard the voice of the words, but saw no similitude, only you heard a voice. And he declared to you his covenant, which he commanded you to perform, even 10 commandments, and he wrote them on 2 tables of stone. And the Lord commanded me at that time to teach you statutes and judgments, that you might do them in the land where you go over to possess it. Take you therefore good heed to yourselves, for you saw no manner of similitude on the day that the Lord spoke to you in Horeb out of the middle of the fire, lest you corrupt yourselves and make you a graven image, the similitude of any figure, the likeness of male or female, the likeness of any beast that is on the earth, the likeness of any winged fowl that flies in the air, the likeness of anything that creeps on the ground, the likeness of any fish that is in the waters beneath the earth. And lest you lift up your eyes to heaven, and when you see the sun and the moon and the stars, even all the host of heaven should be driven to worship them and serve them, which the Lord your God has divided to all nations under the whole heaven. But the Lord has taken you and brought you forth out of the iron furnace, even out of Egypt, to be to him a people of inheritance, as you are this day. Furthermore, the Lord was angry with me for your sakes, and swore that I should not go over Jordan, and that I should not go into that good land, which the Lord your God gives you for an inheritance. But I must die in this land. I must not go over Jordan, but you shall go over and possess that good land. Take heed to yourselves, lest you forget the covenant of the Lord your God, which he made with you, and make you a graven image or the likeness of anything which the Lord your God has forbidden you. For the Lord your God is a consuming fire, even a jealous God. When you shall beget children and children's children, and you shall have remained long in the land, and shall corrupt yourselves, and make a graven image or the likeness of anything, and shall do evil in the sight of the Lord your God to provoke him to anger, I call heaven and earth to witness against you this day that you shall soon utterly perish from off the land whereunto you go over Jordan to possess it. You shall not prolong your days on it, but shall utterly be destroyed. And the Lord shall scatter you among the nations, and you shall be left few in number among the heathen, where the Lord shall lead you. And there you shall serve gods, the work of men's hands, wood and stone, which neither see, nor hear, nor eat, nor smell. But if from there you shall seek the Lord your God, you shall find him, if you seek him with all your heart and with all your soul. When you are in tribulation and all these things are come on you, even in the latter days, if you turn to the Lord your God and shall be obedient to his voice, for the Lord your God is a merciful God. He will not forsake you, neither destroy you, nor forget the covenant of your fathers which he swore to them. For ask now of the days that are past which were before you, since the day that God created man on the earth, and ask from the one side of heaven to the other, whether there has been any such thing as this great thing is, or has been heard like it. Did ever people hear the voice of God speaking out of the middle of the fire as you have heard, and live? Or has God essayed to go and take him a nation from the middle of another nation by temptations, by signs, and by wonders, and by war, and by a mighty hand, and by a stretched out arm, and by great terrors, according to all that the Lord your God did for you in Egypt before your eyes? To you it was showed, that you might know that the Lord, he is God. There is none else beside him. Out of heaven he made you to hear his voice, that he might instruct you. And on earth he showed you his great fire, and you heard his words out of the middle of the fire. And because he loved your fathers, therefore he chose their seed after them, and brought you out in his sight with his mighty power out of Egypt, to drive out nations from before you greater and mightier than you are, to bring you in, to give you their land for an inheritance, as it is this day. Know therefore this day, and consider it in your heart, that the Lord, he is God in heaven above, and on the earth beneath. There is none else. You shall keep therefore his statutes and his commandments, which I command you this day, that it may go well with you and with your children after you, and that you may prolong your days on the earth, which the Lord your God gives you forever. Then Moses severed 3 cities on this side Jordan towards the sunrise, that the slayer might flee thither, which should kill his neighbor unawares, and hated him not in times past, and that fleeing to one of these cities he might live, namely Bezer in the wilderness in the plain country of the Reubenites, and Ramoth in Gilead of the Gadites, and Golan in Bashan of the Massites. And this is the law which Moses set before the children of Israel. These are the testimonies and the statutes and the judgments which Moses spoke to the children of Israel after they came forth out of Egypt. On this side Jordan, in the valley over against Beth Peor, in the land of Sihon, king of the Amorites, who dwelt at Heshbon, whom Moses and the children of Israel smote, after they were come forth out of Egypt. And they possessed his land, and the land of Og, king of Bashan, 2 kings of the Amorites, which were on this side Jordan toward the sunrise, from Aroer, which is by the bank of the river Arnon, even to Mount Sion, which is Hermon, and all the plain on this side Jordan, eastward, even to the sea of the plain, under the springs of Pisgah. Deuteronomy Chapter 5. And Moses called all Israel, and said to them, Hear, O Israel, the statutes and judgments which I speak in your ears this day, that you may learn them and keep and do them. The Lord our God made a covenant with us in Horeb. The Lord made not this covenant with our fathers, but with us, even us, who are all of us here alive this day. The Lord talked with you face to face in the mount out of the middle of the fire. I stood between the Lord and you at that time, to show you the word of the Lord, for you were afraid by reason of the fire, and went not up into the mount, saying, I am the Lord your God, which brought you out of the land of Egypt from the house of bondage. You shall have none other gods before me. You shall not make you any graven image, or any likeness of anything that is in the heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the waters beneath the earth. You shall not bow down yourself to them, nor serve them. For I, the Lord your God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers on the children to the 3rd and 4th generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy to thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. You shall not take the name of the Lord your God in vain, for the Lord will not hold him guiltless that takes his name in vain. Keep the Sabbath day to sanctify it, as the Lord your God has commanded you. 6 days you shall labor, and do all your work. But the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord your God. In it you shall not do any work, you, nor your son, nor your daughter, nor your manservant, nor your maidservant, nor your ox, nor your ass, nor any of your cattle, nor your stranger that is within your gates, that your manservant and your maidservant may rest as well as you. And remember that you were a servant in the land of Egypt, and that the Lord your God brought you out there through a mighty hand and by a stretched out arm. Therefore the Lord your God commanded you to keep the Sabbath day. Honor your father and your mother, as the Lord your God has commanded you, that your days may be prolonged, and that it may go well with you in the land which the Lord your God gives you. You shall not kill, neither shall you commit adultery, neither shall you steal, neither shall you bear false witness against your neighbor, neither shall you desire your neighbor's wife, neither shall you covet your neighbor's house, his field, or his manservant, or his maidservant, his ox, or his ass, or anything that is your neighbor's. These words the Lord spoke to all your assembly in the mount out of the middle of the fire, of the cloud, and of the thick darkness, with a great voice, and he added no more. And he wrote them in 2 tables of stone, and delivered them to me. And it came to pass, when you heard the voice out of the middle of the darkness, for the mountain did burn with fire, that you came near to me, even all the heads of your tribes, and your elders. And you said, Behold, the Lord our God has showed us his glory and his greatness, and we have heard his voice out of the middle of the fire. We have seen this day that God does talk with man, and he lives. Now therefore, why should we die? For this great fire will consume us. If we hear the voice of the Lord our God any more, then we shall die. For who is there of all flesh that has heard the voice of the living God speaking out of the middle of the fire as we have, and lived? Go you near, and hear all that the Lord our God shall say, and speak you to us all that the Lord our God shall speak to you, and we will hear it, and do it. And the Lord heard the voice of your words, when you spoke to me, and the Lord said to me, I have heard the voice of the words of this people, which they have spoken to you. They have well said all that they have spoken. Oh, that there were such an heart in them that they would fear me, and keep all my commandments always, that it might be well with them and with their children forever. Go say to them, Get you into your tents again. But as for you, stand you here by me, and I will speak to you all the commandments and the statutes and the judgments, which you shall teach them, that they may do to them in the land which I give them to possess it. You shall observe to do therefore as the Lord your God has commanded you. You shall not turn aside to the right hand or to the left. You shall walk in all the ways which the Lord your God has commanded you, that you may live, and that it may be well with you, and that you may prolong your days in the land which you shall possess. Deuteronomy Chapter 6. Now these are the commandments, the statutes, and the judgments, which the Lord your God commanded to teach you, that you might do them in the land where you go to possess it, that you might fear the Lord your God, to keep all his statutes and his commandments, which I command you, you and your son, and your son's son, all the days of your life, and that your days may be prolonged. Hear therefore, O Israel, and observe to do it, that it may be well with you, and that you may increase mightily, as the Lord God of your fathers has promised you, in the land that flows with milk and honey. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord. And you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your might. And these words, which I command you this day, shall be in your heart. And you shall teach them diligently to your children, and shall talk of them when you sit in your house, and when you walk by the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise up. And you shall bind them for a sign on your hand, and they shall be as frontlet between your eyes. And you shall write them on the posts of your house and on your gates. And it shall be, when the Lord your God shall have brought you into the land which he swore to your fathers, to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob, to give you great and goodly cities which you built not, and houses full of all good things which you filled not, and wells dig, which you dig not, vineyards, and olive trees which you planted not, when you shall have eaten and be full. Then beware lest you forget the Lord, which brought you forth out of the land of Egypt from the house of bondage. You shall fear the Lord your God, and serve him, and shall swear by his name. You shall not go after other gods, of the gods of the people which are round about you. For the Lord your God is a jealous God among you, lest the anger of the Lord your God be kindled against you, and destroy you from off the face of the earth. You shall not tempt the Lord your God, as you tempted him in Massah. You shall diligently keep the commandments of the Lord your God, and his testimonies and his statutes, which he has commanded you. And you shall do that which is right and good in the sight of the Lord, that it may be well with you, and that you may go in and possess the good land which the Lord swore to your fathers, to cast out all your enemies from before you, as the Lord has spoken. And when your son asks you in time to come, saying, What mean the testimonies and the statutes and the judgments which the Lord our God has commanded you? Then you shall say to your son, We were Pharaoh's slaves in Egypt, and the Lord brought us out of Egypt with a mighty hand. And the Lord showed signs and wonders, great and sore, on Egypt, on Pharaoh, and on all his household, before our eyes. And he brought us out from there, that he might bring us in to give us the land which he swore to our fathers. And the Lord commanded us to do all these statutes, to fear the Lord our God for our good, always, that he might preserve us alive, as it is at this day. And it shall be our righteousness if we observe to do all these commandments before the Lord our God, as he has commanded us. Deuteronomy Chapter 7. When the Lord your God shall bring you into the land where you go to possess it, and has cast out many nations before you, the Hittites, and the Girgashites, and the Amorites, and the Canaanites, and the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, 7 nations greater and mightier than you. And when the Lord your God shall deliver them before you, you shall smite them, and utterly destroy them. You shall make no covenant with them, nor show mercy to them. Neither shall you make marriages with them. Your daughter you shall not give to his son, nor his daughter shall you take to your son. For they will turn away your son from following me, that they may serve other gods. So will the anger of the Lord be kindled against you, and destroy you suddenly. But thus shall you deal with them. You shall destroy their altars, and break down their images, and cut down their groves, and burn their graven images with fire. For you are an holy people to the Lord your God. The Lord your God has chosen you to be a special people to himself, above all people that are on the face of the earth. The Lord did not set his love on you, nor choose you, because you were more in number than any people, for you were the fewest of all people. But because the Lord loved you, and because he would keep the oath which he had sworn to your fathers, has the Lord brought you out with a mighty hand, and redeemed you out of the house of slaves, from the hand of Pharaoh king of Egypt. Know therefore that the Lord your God, he is God, the faithful God, which keeps covenant and mercy with them that love him, and keep his commandments to 1,000 generations, and repays them that hate him to their face to destroy them. He will not be slack to him that hates him. He will repay him to his face. You shall therefore keep the commandments and the statutes and the judgments which I command you this day to do them. Why, it shall come to pass, if you listen to these judgments and keep and do them, that the Lord your God shall keep to you the covenant and the mercy which he swore to your fathers. And he will love you, and bless you, and multiply you. He will also bless the fruit of your womb, and the fruit of your land, your corn, and your wine, and your oil, the increase of your cows, and the flocks of your sheep, in the land which he swore to your fathers to give you. You shall be blessed above all people. There shall not be male or female barren among you, or among your cattle. And the Lord will take away from you all sickness, and will put none of the evil diseases of Egypt which you know on you, but will lay them on all them that hate you. And you shall consume all the people which the Lord your God shall deliver you. Your eye shall have no pity on them, neither shall you serve their gods, for that will be a snare to you. If you shall say in your heart, These nations are more than I, how can I dispossess them? You shall not be afraid of them, but shall well remember what the Lord your God did to Pharaoh and to all Egypt. The great temptations which your eyes saw, and the signs, and the wonders, and the mighty hand, and the stretched out arm, whereby the Lord your God brought you out, so shall the Lord your God do to all the people of whom you are afraid. Moreover, the Lord your God will send the hornet among them, until they that are left and hide themselves from you be destroyed. You shall not be affrighted at them, for the Lord your God is among you, a mighty God and terrible. And the Lord your God will put out those nations before you by little and little. You may not consume them at once, lest the beasts of the field increase on you. But the Lord your God shall deliver them to you. It shall destroy them with a mighty destruction until they be destroyed. And he shall deliver their kings into your hands, and you shall destroy their name from under heaven. There shall no man be able to stand before you until you have destroyed them. The graven images of their gods shall you burn with fire. You shall not desire the silver or gold that is on them, nor take it to you, lest you be snared therein, for it is an abomination to the Lord your God. Neither shall you bring an abomination into your house, lest you be a cursed thing like it. But you shall utterly detest it, and you shall utterly abhor it, for it is a cursed thing. Deuteronomy Chapter 8. All the commandments which I command you this day shall you observe to do, that you may live and multiply, and go in and possess the land which the Lord swore to your fathers. And you shall remember all the way which the Lord your God led you these 40 years in the wilderness, to humble you, and to prove you, to know what was in your heart, whether you would keep his commandments or no. And he humbled you, and suffered you to hunger, and fed you with manna, which you knew not, neither did your fathers know, that he might make you know that man does not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of the Lord does man live. Your raiment waxed not old on you, neither did your foot swell, these 40 years. You shall also consider in your heart, that as a man chastens his son, so the Lord your God chastens you. Therefore you shall keep the commandments of the Lord your God, to walk in his ways and to fear him. For the Lord your God brings you into a good land, a land of brooks of water, of fountains and depths that spring out of valleys and hills, a land of wheat and barley, and vines and fig trees and pomegranates, a land of olive oil and honey, a land wherein you shall eat bread without scarceness. You shall not lack anything in it, a land whose stones are iron, and out of whose hills you may dig brass. When you have eaten and are full, then you shall bless the Lord your God for the good land which he has given you. Beware that you forget not the Lord your God, in not keeping his commandments and his judgments and his statutes which I command you this day, lest when you have eaten and are full, and have built goodly houses and dwelled therein, and when your herds and your flocks multiply, and your silver and your gold is multiplied, and all that you have is multiplied, then your heart be lifted up, and you forget the Lord your God, which brought you forth out of the land of Egypt from the house of bondage, who led you through the great and terrible wilderness, wherein there were fiery serpents and scorpions and drought, where there was no water, who brought you forth out of the rock of flint, who fed you in the wilderness with manna, which your fathers knew not, that he might humble you, and that he might prove you, to do you good at your latter end. And you say in your heart, my power and the might of my hand has gotten me this wealth. But you shall remember the Lord your God, for it is he that gives you power to get wealth, that he may establish his covenant, which he swore to your fathers, as it is this day. And it shall be, if you do all at forget the Lord your God, and walk after other gods, and serve them, and worship them, I testify against you this day, that you shall surely perish. As the nations which the Lord destroys before your face, so shall you perish, because you would not be obedient to the voice of the Lord your God. Deuteronomy Chapter 9. Hear, O Israel, you are to pass over Jordan this day, to go in to possess nations greater and mightier than yourself, cities great and fenced up to heaven, a people great and tall, the children of the Anakims, whom you know, and of whom you have heard say, who can stand before the children of Anak. Understand therefore this day that the Lord your God is he which goes over before you. As a consuming fire he shall destroy them, and he shall bring them down before your face. So shall you drive them out, and destroy them quickly, as the Lord has said to you. Speak not you in your heart, after that the Lord your God has cast them out from before you, saying, from my righteousness the Lord has brought me in to possess this land. But for the wickedness of these nations, the Lord does drive them out from before you. Not for your righteousness, or for the uprightness of your heart do you go to possess their land, but for the wickedness of these nations the Lord your God does drive them out from before you, that he may perform the word which the Lord swore to your fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Understand, therefore, that the Lord your God gives you not this good land to possess it for your righteousness, for you are a stiff-necked people. Remember and forget not how you provoked the Lord your God to wrath in the wilderness. From the day that you did depart out of the land of Egypt until you came to this place, you have been rebellious against the Lord. Also in Horeb you provoked the Lord to wrath, so that the Lord was angry with you to have destroyed you. When I was gone up into the mount to receive the tables of stone, even the tables of the covenant which the Lord made with you, then I stayed in the mount 40 days and 40 nights. I neither did eat bread nor drink water. And the Lord delivered to me 2 tables of stone written with the finger of God, and on them was written according to all the words which the Lord spoke with you in the mount out of the middle of the fire in the day of the assembly. And it came to pass at the end of 40 days and 40 nights that the Lord gave me the 2 tables of stone, even the tables of the covenant. And the Lord said to me, Arise, get you down quickly from hence, for your people, which you have brought forth out of Egypt, have corrupted themselves. They are quickly turned aside out of the way which I commanded them. They have made them a molten image. Furthermore, the Lord spoke to me, saying, I have seen this people, and behold, it is a stiff-necked people. Let me alone that I may destroy them, and blot out their name from under heaven. And I will make of you a nation mightier and greater than they. So I turned and came down from the mount, and the mount burned with fire, and the 2 tables of the covenant were in my 2 hands. And I looked, and behold, you had sinned against the Lord your God, and had made you a molten calf. You had turned aside quickly out of the way which the Lord had commanded you. And I took the 2 tables, and cast them out of my 2 hands, and broke them before your eyes. And I fell down before the Lord, as at the first 40 days and 40 nights. I did neither eat bread nor drink water, because of all your sins which you sinned, in doing wickedly in the sight of the Lord to provoke him to anger. For I was afraid of the anger and hot displeasure with which the Lord was wroth against you to destroy you. But the Lord listened to me at that time also. And the Lord was very angry with Aaron to have destroyed him, and I prayed for Aaron also the same time. And I took your sin, the calf which you had made, and burnt it with fire, and stamped it, and ground it very small, even until it was as small as dust. And I cast the dust thereof into the brook that descended out of the mount. And at Taberah, and at Massah, and at Kibroth Hattaavah, you provoked the Lord to wrath. Likewise, when the Lord sent you from Kadesh Barnea, saying, Go up and possess the land which I have given you, then you rebelled against the commandment of the Lord your God, and you believed him not, nor listened to his voice. You have been rebellious against the Lord from the day that I knew you. Thus I fell down before the Lord 40 days and 40 nights, as I fell down at the first, because the Lord had said he would destroy you. I prayed therefore to the Lord, and said, O Lord God, destroy not your people and your inheritance, which you have redeemed through your greatness, which you have brought forth out of Egypt with a mighty hand. Remember your servants, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Look not to the stubbornness of this people, nor to their wickedness, nor to their sin. Lest the land from where you brought us out say, Because the Lord was not able to bring them into the land which he promised them, and because he hated them, he has brought them out to slay them in the wilderness. Yet they are your people, and your inheritance, which you brought out by your mighty power and by your stretched out arm. Deuteronomy Chapter 10. At that time the Lord said to me, You 2 tables of stone like to the first, and come up to me into the mount, and make you an ark of wood. And I will write on the tables the words that were in the first tables which you break, and you shall put them in the ark. And I made an ark of shittim wood, and hewed 2 tables of stone like to the first, and went up into the mount, having the 2 tables in my hand. And he wrote on the tables according to the first writing, the 10 commandments, which the Lord spoke to you in the mount, out of the middle of the fire in the day of the assembly. And the Lord gave them to me. And I turned myself and came down from the mount, and put the tables in the ark which I had made. And there they be, as the Lord commanded me. And the children of Israel took their journey from Beeroth of the children of Jaakan to Moserah. There Aaron died, and there he was buried, and Eleazar his son ministered in the priest's office in his stead. From there they journeyed to Gugdugadah, and from Gugdugadah to Jotbath, a land of rivers of waters. At that time the Lord separated the tribe of Levi to bear the ark of the covenant of the Lord, to stand before the Lord to minister to him, and to bless in his name to this day. Why Levi has no part nor inheritance with his brothers. The Lord is his inheritance, according as the Lord your God promised him. And I stayed in the mount according to the first time, 40 days and 40 nights. And the Lord listened to me at that time also, and the Lord would not destroy you. And the Lord said to me, Arise, take your journey before the people, that they may go in and possess the land which I swore to their fathers to give to them. And now, Israel, what does the Lord your God require of you, but to fear the Lord your God, to walk in all his ways, and to love him, and to serve the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul, to keep the commandments of the Lord and his statutes, which I command you this day for your good. Behold, the heaven and the heaven of heavens is the Lord's your God, the earth also, with all that therein is. Only the Lord had a delight in your fathers to love them, and he chose their seed after them, even you, above all people, as it is this day. Circumcise therefore the foreskin of your heart, and be no more stiff-necked. For the Lord your God is God of gods, and Lord of lords, a great God, a mighty and a terrible, which regards not persons, nor takes reward. He does execute the judgment of the fatherless and the widow, and loves the stranger, in giving him food and raiment. Love you therefore the stranger, for you were strangers in the land of Egypt. You shall fear the Lord your God. Him shall you serve, and to him shall you hold, and swear by his name. He is your praise, and he is your God, that has done for you these great and terrible things which your eyes have seen. Your fathers went down into Egypt with 70 persons, and now the Lord your God has made you as the stars of heaven for multitude.